We're back again. Part number 3.
3.
Of the 100 beyond the 100, or whatever we're calling it these days.
The 100 outside the 100. That's what I keep calling it. I'm still calling it that.
It's the 100 beyond the 100 when I type it into Facebook. So sorry.
Even after last time, so we were only 2 in, I'm like, okay, you need to change this.
Yeah, well.
Now it's like a thing.
Old dog, new tricks, so they say.
Okay. So tonight we are talking about 180 through 171. So the 170s, because I think this week, are we on the 70s? Or we're on the 60s this week
60s,
on the podcast.
Yes.
So we are full steam ahead. And I think I have a really good list. I looked at Jason's today and I think they all suck. But mine are good.
What? What about 174? You like 174?
I do. It should be higher than that. I don't know what you're doing.
Like 177?
I think mine's higher than that too.
Okay. Well,
anyway, so we'll start with 180. My 180 is, for us, a classic. We used to talk about it all the time, and we haven't lately, but it's still such a good game, and that is The Gambler. I always sing Kenny Rogers when I think about this game. But in The Gambler, you are trying to make the most money. You're trying to reach, what, $10,000? $1,000. $1,000.
Yeah, it's just small denomination.
$1,000. This is like old. This is from the 70s. A game from the 70s. Where did we put it? Because I was looking. Oh, right here.
Yeah. Don't pull it out. It'll be a big ordeal.
No, it's got like interesting like Schoolhouse Rock art to it. But there's just like a bunch of little mini games in it. Also, there's like a little dice maraca, which is arguably one of the best gimmicks in a game. That you shake around the dice and then you shake them down, like they're in a big round part, and you shake them down into the little handle part. And that is for different mini games that dice maraca is used. It is all luck. It is dumb luck. You bet on horse races. You throw like little parties. But
it's roll and move. Whatever you land on happens.
Yes.
That's what it is. But it's a good time.
But it is fun because there's a different types of like little mini games you play. So that is why it's my 180, The Gambler.
Yeah, I don't know where this is on my list, but had we play it more again, and like I do like this game quite a bit. It's just, I don't know. Every time it came up on the list, I always voted against it with something else. I don't know why. It's a good game.
We haven't played it in a while.
Rory likes it.
I think if we played it again, you would be reminded of how good it is.
Yeah, you're probably right. So my number 180 is also a game that I haven't played in a really long time. From Arcane Wonders, it's a Dice Tower Essentials game, and it is called Royals. And for a while, I actually had the version of the game that this was based on called Head of State, but I did give that away to a friend.
I didn't even know we had that game.
Yeah, it's the one that Brian picked up that one time. Yeah, okay. It came in a trade. They just threw it in as a game that was in there because they saw I like Royals. But Royals is kind of like Ticket to Ride, and by that I mean you're collecting these different cards of countries. Again, I haven't played it for a while.
Colors, basically.
Yeah, basically colors, and you're trying to assert your influence over different locations on the map to score points. And if you had the majority, you're going to get some points. And you're also trying to claim the favor of these different nobles that are out there.
Which is how you get your influence.
Right. And people can come in and boot you out into this other section, and then you're just a wasted cube. So you're trying to figure out when you want to put your cubes into the location, when you want to get booted out, and all that kind of thing. It's a pretty easy game. It can get a little mean because area control at its heart is mean, but it's easy to play and it's easy to teach, and it's a good game. It's fun. We just don't play it a lot. So my number 180, Royals.
Yeah, this is just outside my 200. The coolest part about Royals is eventually you can share points for influence, and even like the scorecards for that, like you can break them in half. They're designed to break in half if you have to split the points, which I don't know why I think that's so cool.
Which is genius. But it is. Every game should do that.
Yeah, it's awesome. A good idea. My number 179 is a game Jason talked about either the last episode or the one before of the videos, and that is My Little Scythe. So for a long time, I really did not like Scythe. I had a bad experience. It wasn't good. It wasn't good. But My Little Scythe is so dang cute. And it's basically it's Scythe, just on a much simpler version. It plays much faster. There's still like a big setup to it. But you have these adorable little animals that you're controlling, and you're like going out and exploring, and you're collecting apples, and you can have like a pie fight. Like, it's cute. It's cute for adults. It's basically the mechanics of Scythe on like
a way simpler level.
A way simpler level.
Yeah.
So I like it, and I like looking at it, and I like playing with the characters. So my 179 is My Little Scythe.
It was on the first video episode. It was on the 190s.
Okay.
My next game is a Martin Wallace game. And honestly, it would be higher on this list if I played it more. It actually looks nice. It doesn't look like a Martin Wallace game. Thank you.
Have I played this?
No.
I didn't think so.
It's based on a computer game called Anno something, but the board game's called Anno 1800. I don't know what the computer game's called. Maybe same. Don't know. Don't care. Effectively, what this game is it's a huge game of building tech trees. All tech trees. You have cubes, and you're using these cubes as workers to put them on buildings to either produce goods or to pay certain types of goods to build different buildings. And all you're trying to do is get as many buildings as you can to fulfill these contract cards you have in your hand before another player. It's kind of like a race. I've actually just played it by myself a couple times, so I haven't really ever played it with live people, which is part of the reason why it's down so low. But I enjoyed what it did when I was playing two-handed solo, and it's fun, and I'd like to play it. It's a pain in the neck to teach, like every Martin Wallace game, but maybe that's why I just taught myself. But it's fun.
It hasn't stopped you before.
Yeah, that's true. If you like Martin Wallace and you know that computer game, you like tech trees, you like converting things into other things, check it out. It's pretty good. 179, Anno 1800.
I have a feeling I won't like it.
You may.
I don't know how I feel about tech trees.
It doesn't feel like a tech tree, but that's essentially what it is. It feels like I got bread. I'm turning that bread into something else. I'm turning that something else.
So it sounds like brass, which I hate.
Sort of, but there's no network. You don't need to. You're not building a network. You're not using rails. You're not using canals. There's no cards to play to take the action. It's pretty different. Pretty different.
Okay, sure. My number 178 in a weird twist of fate is Scythe, like the actual game Scythe. So we ended up getting this from Stonemaier, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna give it another try, because my first experience was bad. Second experience, much better. Like I enjoyed it. I think we still played it wrong.
Yeah, I messed up the battle rules.
But it was a much better experience. I could see why people like the game. I can't see why people like went on and on about it and like have 20 million, all the expansions and all that sort of thing. But I can concede that it is a pretty good game. And I even like it just a little bit better, obviously, than My Little Scythe, because there is more to it. I just had a better time planning out like how like I could really maximize the turns by unlocking things. Like I just got it better this time. So it was, a much more enjoyable experience. So my number 178 is Scythe.
Yeah, I'll be talking about that later. I actually thought I liked My Little Scythe better. I would rather play My Little Scythe, I think. But I think Scythe is a better game. It's a deeper game. But if I'm going to pull it off the shelf, I'm going to pull My Little Scythe off the shelf, probably. My number 178 is one of the first games I think we got from Board and Dice. And I've played it with Brandon and Josie twice. That's it.
I was going to say, I don't think I know this.
And it's what's called Praetor or Praetor. I don't know how you say it. Praetor. And it's Roman Empire. Mm-hmm. And what you're doing in this game is you are placing tiles down. We're building like a board together. And you're trying to put certain color corners of the tiles together to score bonuses. It's kind of dumb. But the crux of the game is you're using dice as workers. And when you use a worker, it levels up. And this is the first game I'd ever seen that in. It levels up. And then when it hits a 6, it retires. Which they've done in another game, Origins. Same kind of concept. A 6 retires, but it's actually useful. In Praetor, it retires and you have to pay them a pension. So then you're spending money that you're earning to pay for these dice that are worthless because they've aged out of the populace and they're not helping your workforce. Yeah, that's it. And all you send a worker to a space, you're doing the thing that the space allows you to do, and you're trying to score points. I haven't played it in a really long time. I know it's deeper than that, but all I really remember is that cool dice mechanism and scoring the points that way. But it's a fun game. Rahdo has a playthrough. You can go check it out. It's usually pretty cheap because it's not really a looker. That's why it's on our shelf.
Shocking.
But it is a fun game. It's clever. It's different, and I dig it. So 178, Praetor.
Yeah, haven't played that one yet. I do remember I remember hearing you talk about that or teach it or something. So who knows what I was doing. Could have been anything.
Who knows?
My number 177, I actually went and changed out for another game that I thought I liked, but we don't own it, and I don't remember it very well. But a game I do like, and I do remember well, and honestly, part of the problem is, again, 2-player games just rank lower, but this is probably one of my absolute favorite 2-player games, and that is 7 Wonders Duel. Jason and I played the crap out of this when we got it. I mean, we played it a lot after that. We have the Pantheon expansion.
Yes, just the first one. Yeah, we don't have the second.
It's just, like, I hated 7 Wonders. I still think I would hate it, although there's that new version that I might like. I hated 7 Wonders. I'm like, what is the point? I don't see this. Like, why do I care about these cards? It just didn't work for me. 7 Wonders Duel was the opposite. Like, stuff just clicked. I love, like, building that engine of drafting cards. They're going to give you resources that you can then turn to other things. There's the science win. There's the military win, like balancing that. What do I want to take? In-game points. What do I want to keep you from taking even if I don't need it? Like, and then building your wonders. What do I need to build my wonders? Because it's kind of a race. Only one person can build 4? 3.
Yeah, one person builds 4, one person builds 3.
I always build 4.
You always do build 4.
I always build 4. But there's a lot. I think it's pretty quick too, but there's so many great decisions and so much stuff going on that it's just really good. I'm just looking at it over the shelf and I'm like, man, I want to play that again.
Yeah, and I played this with people who don't play a ton of games, and we played it 3 times in a row. I played it with Keenan 3 times in a row.
Really?
Yeah, he loved it. It was awesome. It's super simple.
Yeah, it's just really good. Anytime anyone asks for like a good 2-player game, like that is the old faithful. You gotta get 7 Wonders Duel. It is so good. So that's my 177, 7 Wonders Duel.
Yeah, I don't know. That's probably on the podcast for me.
Oh, really?
Let's check it out. 7.
Nope. Oh.
Yeah, we'll be talking about that later.
Wow.
Much later on the podcast.
Wow. I mean, it's good. I didn't realize you liked that much.
Back to the list. What are we on? 177.
177. All the 7s for 7 Wonders Duel.
So my number 177 is not have a 7 in it, but it is a fantastic game. Very weird. This may be the weirdest game that's on our shelf.
No. There's no way it's the weirdest game on our shelf.
It's pretty weird. What's another weird one?
Well, I mean, are you talking thematic? Are you talking like...
Thematically weird.
I don't know.
The Decemberist? Who makes a book
throwing your family members into like the river?
Oh, that's true. The game's called Illimat. I haven't said that yet.
No.
And it's from... the designer's done some other game that I can't remember now, but...
I don't know.
A couple other games that are not super popular. But this is a card game. And you're trying to be the first player to get 17 points. And the way you're doing that is almost like, it feels like a trick-taking game, but it's not. So you're going to be taking, on your turn, you're going to play a card from your hand, and you're going to do one of 3 different actions. You're going to sow, harvest, 4 actions, stockpile, or that's it. But the trick here is, not every action can be done in all 4 of the fields. Some of the fields have restrictions based on what they're in, and
the season.
And the box is going to rotate, change the field, so it's harder to collect cards in different spaces. And you're going to get certain points. You're going to collect these ocuses. There's going to be luminaries that pop up that change the rules of the fields. It's really funky. It's kind of hard to teach, at least the stockpiling piece. The other two actions are pretty basic, but the stockpiling's a beast. But once you get into it, it's a super fun card game. It feels like a basic card game with weird rules. So if you haven't played this game and you like funky card games, you like the Decemberist, you like that theme, check it out. So my number 177, Illimat.
I think this is probably higher on my list. We've actually played this a lot.
A lot. I played this probably 10 times this year.
I randomly was introduced to it when I was with my friend Kim from Tabletop Rebellion. We were at Worlds for Star Wars Destiny. So it's been so we're up at like FFG's headquarters and we're hanging out with some people and they brought this game and I'm like, what is this? It was kind of weird. I wasn't sure. It has like tarot-sized cards. It's got
Gloom.
Oh, he made Gloom. I
was like, it's another
Gloom.
that one's not popular that much anymore, I don't think, but it was.
Gloom was fun. But it had enough elements of trick taking, things that again, growing up in the Midwest, I totally am used to. So I do like it. We have played this a lot. Yeah.
Almost everybody likes it too.
Yeah.
Or at least tolerates it. But nobody's really hated it.
No, I don't think so. My number 176 is like a party game, but not for like a billion people. And this is like new hotness stuff.
It is new hotness, and it's fantastic.
It's probably way higher on Jason's list. I'm looking at it right now over there on the shelf. I actually was thinking about getting this for a Christmas gift for somebody.
It's a good Christmas gift.
Amber, I think, would like it. She doesn't watch this. It's Bag of Chips. So again, you know that by we I mean Jason, love Push Your Luck. No way.
Yeah, I couldn't justify it being super high. It'll be on next week's video for me.
A Bag of Chips, you are pushing your luck. You've got cards. You are trying to get these different type flavors of chips out in different quantities based on what your cards' goals are. As different amounts of chips come out in different stages, you are discarding some cards, and then at the end, you're eventually deciding, okay, I'm going to score these 2 cards for positive points, 1 card for negative points. And then you're hoping that the chips will fall in your favor.
It's all random, all luck.
So random, but pulling them out of the bag, like, they're just cardboard, like, looking chips. I wish they were, like, just colored plastic, like, that someone would 3D print them to be like a little like Pringles type chip. I think that would be even more fun.
I think the bag would have to be bigger though, because you'd have to.
You wouldn't have to make no.
I think the shuffling would be harder to like mix them around.
I don't think so.
Oh,
maybe you're not envisioning it the same way I'm
probably
envisioning
not.
it.
Yeah.
But that randomness, that Push Your Luck, you plays really quick. It's very easy to play a full game, and people are like, okay, now I get it. Yeah. Let's do it again.
You can just teach it by playing. Don't even teach it. Just teach it by playing.
Right. It's super easy. I even taught it, and I think everyone seemed to understand it. So that's a bonus. It's just it's good fun. Definitely worth playing with non-gamers because they totally get it. So 176, Bag of Chips.
The only downfall is it only plays to like 6 players.
Yes.
If you could play this with like 10 players, that'd be awesome. Pure chaos. Because all you need is more cards. That's it.
Yeah, I suppose.
Yeah, it's a great game. I'll talk about it later. I did a video for it. If you like Push Your Luck, silly themes, check it out. You can play a game in 5 minutes.
And it looks like a bag of chips. Like, people have honestly been like, I thought this was a bag of chips.
It's amazing. My number 176 is actually a Vital Lacerda game. And this is my least favorite Vital Lacerda game. Of the ones that I've played. I haven't played On Mars. I haven't played Weather Machine. Or the new one that's not even out yet. Inventors. I have On Mars on the shelf. I'm learning it. Not mine, but I'm borrowing it. I'll learn it and play it eventually. But this game is CO2. And I've played this with my buddy Brandon 2 times. That's all I've managed to play it. And this is a semi-cooperative Vital game where players are working together to reduce pollution across the globe and make sure that when they're building new factories, they're keeping pollution down to a good level. So people can go in and start a project. They can go and then start working on someone else's project. So that's where the semi-cooperativeness comes in, is I can start up a project and then someone else that's playing can then go in and finish that project for me. So you don't really own anything. And then you can put your scientists out to gain knowledge to move up on tracks. But if the pollution gets too high, everybody loses. So there's more of the semi-co-op. So we are really trying to work together to keep that pollution down. And you're just racing to get the most points. Like every Vital game, you can take there's 3 actions in the game, 500 executive actions, typical Vital stuff.
Right.
The actions, it's just 4 actions, but it takes up this much sheet on the page because you got to do all the checklists of stuff.
Yeah.
It's a fun game. It's kind of convoluted and hard to teach, and I don't like the semi-co-op part. Seems ridiculous a little bit, but if someone wanted to play it, I'm not going to say no. So 176 CO2.
Yeah, this is one of his that I haven't played. Compared to some of his other themes too, this one is okay.
It doesn't feel like a Vital game really to me, other than the 4 actions and executives. None of the other way that the game works, it doesn't feel like any of the other ones that we have. Which maybe that's part of the reason why I don't like it as much.
Right. My number 175 is a deck builder, but it's actually a deck unbuilder at its heart. And that game is called Chiseled. Chiseled is, it's just basically cards. But what you're doing is you have a deck of statue parts. And also some scrap from crafting the statues. I mean, you've got arms, legs, heads, torsos. I think that's it. Yeah. And then there are, obviously, if you're going to make statues, it's ideal that, you have an even number of arms, an even number of legs. And there are different cards that come out kind of each round that you have to choose from. And they're going to take away some cards from your deck. You don't always know what those cards are, and you want to make sure you're not getting rid of the ones that you need, that you're keeping the right number, because there's this whole way of scoring based on what kind of parts you have in your deck. It's just a really neat way, I think, to work with the opposite of deck building, but you're still filtering through and pulling through cards that you have. And I think that the theme is cool. Like sculpture, that's not really done all that often. I think the box art is really ugly. I think it does no favors.
It's definitely not a looker. Even when you open it up, it doesn't look that good.
Just a lot of white marbly color rocks. But the mechanics are really cool. It's just such an interesting idea, interesting way to work with the deck of cards. So I really like that. That's number 75, Chiseled.
Yeah, I don't know if I've even played a game like that before, where you start out with a huge deck of 50 cards, and you're trying to whittle it down. Because most of the time you're trying to get cards.
Or there's more like Marvel Remix and Red Rising are working with the cards in your hand. So
swapping cards out and stuff.
So
yeah, I don't know.
It's an in-between.
Yeah, if you haven't checked that game out, it's pretty cool.
It's cool. I don't know who does it, who prints it.
Yeah, I did know that, but
it's not Blue Orange, right? It's
it's a small indie publisher.
Yeah, I don't know.
So my number 175 is actually a game that we've played literally a bajillion times.
Yes.
I don't know what number bajillion is, but this is how many times we played this game. And it is called Silver and Gold. And this is a Phil Walker Harding game from Pandasaurus. A little flipping right.
Yeah.
You're going to flip some cards that have Tetris shapes. So the 3 blocks, the 1 block, the L shape, the straight line. And what you're trying to do is you are trying to mark those shapes off on these cards, which are like little islands, to complete them. You may cross off some coins. They'll give you a little coin you cross off on your player board. You're racing to do all that to score some extra points. You may get some palm trees. Those give you extra points. You may cross off a bonus X, which lets you mark off another space, which can pile on a whole bunch of things. And you're just trying to cross off as many islands as you can, score as many points as you can. That's it. And you're playing over, I think, 4 rounds or 5 rounds. I can't remember the exact amount. I think if I played it a bajillion times, I would know that. But you're playing over a certain number of rounds, and then after all that, whoever has the most points is the winner. It's super simple. Anybody can play this game.
Yes.
It's literally one of those that you don't even really need to explain that much. No. Fantastic game. Phil Walker Harding's a genius. His games are awesome, and this is no exception. 175, Silver and gold.
Yes, this is definitely one that we pull out with people that don't often play games. I don't know where this is on my list, but we play it a lot. It's very good. And again, super simple, but still a good time for everybody. Like, I think that's a sign of a good game. My number 174, I haven't played for a while. I had a bad experience with... I had so many good experiences. Then I had a bad experience. And it's made me not want to try to teach it to people again.
Who'd you have the bad experience with?
Camp.
Oh, yeah, that'll do it.
Poopy and Poopy's wife and some other people in that group. And it just...
Yeah, definitely a group-dependent game for sure.
Yeah, I really thought it would be good, but they acted like they couldn't figure out what to do.
You didn't say the name of the game, though.
Oh, the name is Secret. The game is Secret Hitler.
I interrupted.
The game is Secret Hitler, and I've had so many good times with this game. Like, I love social deduction. So in Secret Hitler, someone's Hitler. Shocking.
It's a dinosaur, so don't get crazy. It's just a dinosaur.
No one's wearing a mustache. Yeah. It's fine.
It's
and then you've got people that are fascists. I was like, Nazis?
Fascists and liberals.
Fascists and liberals. And then I think sometimes because of our American political system, you have to explain that to people who don't understand. But
right.
Again, if you don't have a dinosaur, you don't have to worry about it. Right. It very simple. You move around, you elect a chancellor, and you elect a vice chancellor?
President. Chancellor and president. It is definitely group dependent. As are most social deduction games, they're group dependent for sure.
Yeah, I just thought, surely this game is so fun. Oops, that everyone will like it. I was mistaken. But normally, super fun. You're electing a chancellor, you're electing a vice chancellor, a president. If Hitler ever becomes chancellor, Hitler wins. You're like trading these cards in to pass these laws. If too many fascist laws are passed, Hitler wins.
Right. If liberals kill Hitler, the liberals win. But that's tricky.
Right. So it's like a werewolf-esque. It's such a great game. Thank you. It is. And like, can you still get it? Like,
yeah, I think easily? So. It's super cheap too for as nice as it is, like $30.
The components are so good. I love the artwork on it. I know there's been print and play versions done of Secret Voldemort, which I would also totally be down with. If someone would print and like make me up like one of those, that would be amazing. I'm not going to do it because I can't even cut straight lines.
And our printer is.
That's also true. But that would be like the best to have my own Secret Voldemort because I'm a super Potterhead. But Secret Hitler is still really fun. The art style is cool. The components are good. And the game is fun. Like, again, this is a game where Jason, like, at a church function, infamously called me a lying piece of trash when he was Hitler, and I knew it.
So it's one of those games where you have to break the ice.
Like, oh, absolutely.
If everybody's not getting into it or they don't know what's going on, somebody has to take the bullet, I guess, and break the ice.
Yeah.
Clearly lie, clearly start the process going. And I'm usually not the one to do that, but so that's telling you what kind of group this is.
I was trying to work up to.
If I'm the one that's breaking the ice, that tells you what the group is. But after that, the game started going, and it was a good time.
Yes. People were like, "We need to offer them marriage counseling," and I'm like, "No, you need to kill him because he's Hitler."
That's a good time. That's a good time.
I generally have had very good experiences with this game. I had one bad experience, so now I'm like gun shy because I was like, "Hey guys, this game is so great," and I'm like, "Let me introduce you to it and explain it," and they're like, "What? What do I do? I don't understand. Like, whose turn is it?" I'm like, "Okay,
yeah,
you clearly were the wrong group, clearly." But yeah, it's fun. I love it. 174, Secret Hitler.
Yeah, I do like that one. As far as social deduction games go, that's probably one of my favorites. Just because I think the theme is cool. It's an interesting theme. It has really great production for a social deduction game. Mm-hmm. And, you can get people fired up with the whole fascist, liberal, and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So my number 174 is actually a trick-taking game. It's a reprint of an old game. This one's from Restoration, and it's called Indulgence. And this is a trick-taking game with no trump suit. So all suits are created equal here. But the trick here is there are these like I forget what they're called, like
laws
or like
edicts,
papal edicts, yes. And they're going to tell you like, don't take any green cards, or take the 3 and 6 of the purple suit, stuff like that. So either people are trying to do that, or one person can be the center, and that means they're basically going to flip that card over, and they can't take any of that stuff.
Or take all of it.
But you get this cool little ring, a little pinky ring. I'm assuming it's a pinky ring. But you get a papal ring that basically can adjust. It doesn't
fit on my pinky. I think it's like a big ring.
It looks like a class ring. You basically adjust one of your cards to a higher number than it actually is. It's going to be the ultimate number. So if you play a 1, you'll put that thing on there and it turns it into like an 11. So it'll just give you a get out of jail free card. And if you can get all that, you get a pile of gems, which are like points. And if you don't do that, then you have to pay a bunch of stuff to people. And it just it's this crazy, like, you sit right behind me. Like when I fire this off, do I really want to do this? Do I have enough gems? Will this put me over the edge? Because you're like trying to get a certain threshold of gems or something. And it's good for not having any trump suit and just really simple. Those edicts change the game every single round so much. Add so much thankiness to it. If you like trick-taking games, this is great. It's one of my favorites for sure. It's pretty low just because we don't play it that much, but it is really, really good. And nice production. I'm going to show you the ring.
I think this is higher on mine. I also wrote about it in a blog I did on trick-taking games. You can check that out on our website.
Looks like a class ring, see?
Yeah, but it's not like a pinky.
If you have big hands? The Pope has big hands?
I guess. I'm always like, kiss the ring. Kiss the ring.
Yeah. Bag of crystals. Dude, this game's amazing.
It's so good. Like, again, we're from the Midwest. We love trick-taking games. Hearts, spades, euchre, wizard. So it's a no-brainer, and people really, really like it. And especially if you played a lot of trick-taking games, like it's a nice way to like flip things up a little bit, to really push, be like, ooh, yeah, oh, okay. So I can't take any of the red cards. Do I have a bunch of them? Do I have low ones? Do I have high ones? How do I get rid of them?
Or you can take them, but if you take them, you have to give the dealer, the Pope or whatever, money. And that's terrible. So they're trying to stick you with that, and you're trying not to do that because you don't want to give them any money, which is pretty terrible.
Yeah, so it's fairly quick, and a really easy like learning like curve on that because of trick-taking games. But it's got these cool nuances. Like, it is really fun. I love it.
Yeah, the more I play trick-taking games, the more I'm getting into it. I mean, I should play euchre, but I like stuff that's different than euchre that takes it to a new level, and this one definitely does that.
Speaking of trick-taking games, my number 173, it's also kind of new hotness. Ours
isn't.
Ours is
but
not.
The game is.
Do you have this way higher than yours?
Oh, I would assume so. That I don't know.
We have old and busted version of this game. I like the look of the new one, even though the setting of it is completely arbitrary. And that's Scout. Scout. Oh, if you haven't played Scout, you need to play this game.
You're lame if you haven't played Scout. I'll say it right now.
No, it's so good. I even helped teach this to another group of people. Julia Khan, because she had the new version, which has aesthetically, I think it is pleasing. I like the.
But what about that theme where you're recruiting Joe, the juggler?
The theme is.
What about the theme?
Dumb. It's dumb. Tim, you haven't played this? Your sister and I played it like 3 times.
Tim, that's embarrassing. You call yourself a gamer.
It is amazing. See, I was with Mike. Although, Mike, were you the one making choices? No, you weren't the one making crazy choices. You made good choices. Somebody else at the table was making insane choices. I had to walk away. It's so good. So, Scout is like a mix of every card game that you've ever played as a kid, essentially. So, it's like this ladder game. So much shame. You need to get in the box of shame, the cone of shame. It's just that simple. Like, oh, I'm going to play an 8. So you need to play something that is higher than 8. It's either a 9 or a 10, or you play a pair, or you play a run of 2. And then pairs or same cards of the same are better than runs. Mm-hmm. But you pick up your hand and you can't move it.
You can flip it at once at the beginning.
At the beginning, you can decide if it's upside down or right side up, which that, again, is the unique thing about the Scout cards. They have numbers on both sides, and they are different. So you are trying to then beat everyone around the table. And you really want to lay something kind of impressive, because if someone says, well, I can't beat that, they will have to scout, which means they take one of those cards and you get a point for it. And points are at a premium, and you're trying to get rid of everything in your hand because that's negative points. Again, these are all concepts that you've had in another game, but they're just put together in this game. And it just, once you play like a round, people catch on. They're like, oh, it's on. Okay. Like they get it. Like it works for gamers, non-gamers. Like ours is like the old busted version from Japan, right?
Yeah, it's exactly the same game.
It's the same game.
Just different art.
It just isn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, it isn't as aesthetic.
There's no theme. They're not even pretending to put a theme on this
Which
one.
I'm fine with, but I'm just surprised for being a game from Japan that it's not more aesthetically pleasing.
Yeah.
It's pretty hideous.
It's just white with weird shapes on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the new version is really great. Now, I think are they charging a lot for this game now?
It was like $35 or something.
It's a deck of
That's a lot for a deck
cards.
of cards and some cardboard shits. But it's oink. The new one's oink, and they're kind of expensive.
Yes, Mike.
We are gloating.
I
We're
am
gonna keep
gloating about having it. It's so great.
Yeah, we played this at a con we were just at, Nerdapalooza, with someone who came up and hung out with us who listens, and he went out and bought it immediately afterwards. Played it with his wife, and they loved it. Like, that's how good it is.
Yeah, his wife's a total non-gamer, too.
Yeah.
And we played with my family, and they really loved it, and a lot of them are non-gamers.
Once you get it, it's weird not rearranging your cards. That's weird. I mean, we played Bonanza, so it's not as weird. But if you've never done anything like that, it's a little funky. And then to know that a run of a kind always beats a run and all that. A little bit of rule heavy, but not too much.
Not that much.
It's a fantastic game. Fantastic.
It's so good. I wish you all could own it like we do.
Yeah, and I'll be gloating about it on the podcast because I like it a little bit, well, a lot more
than
Katie
better.
does. Yeah.
I just, again, you could only play it, to 5?
3 to... It's 5 or 6. Yeah, and don't ever play it at 3. It's not good. So it's like 4 to 6, I think. Maybe 4 to 5. You might be right. I
would definitely play it at the max. Like, it works really well at the max. But it's really fun. It's a super fun game. Again, very easy to teach, easy to play, but the decisions...
Ooh, it said you could play it at 2. Yuck.
Ugh.
Don't play that mess at 2.
You probably have to do something different.
You not play a different game is what you
do. Besides that, play some Wonders Duel.
Yeah.
So that's my number 173, Scout.
All right, so I want to keep talking about Scout, but we won't. We'll move on. 173 is actually a 2-player game that probably would be higher if we played it more, but I think we've played it once, and I've played
played it more than once.
A couple of times, and I played it with Brandon once. And it's called Akrotiri. Mm-hmm. And this is a game that, it's a tile laying game. You're placing these tiles down, but you're also doing some pick up and delivery. You have these little boats, and you're moving along pathways in the water to different islands to collect different color cubes. I think there's 4 different color cubes, and you're trying to bring them back to the center to sell them for money. But ultimately what you're trying to do is you're trying to put these icons on these islands out in this weird formation. So when you're looking at it, you're going to have these goal cards, and you're trying to discover this temple that matches the symbols on the map. So I need to have a red and a blue one over here, a green one over here. If I can find a place on the map that meets that criteria, I can build one of my temples. That gives me, more actions I can take on my turn. It may unlock some other kind of things that I'm doing. And you're racing to get all your temples out. It's a great game. That temple piece is a little tricky. It's a pain in the butt to teach that thing because you can't really show it because you don't know what cards there are, and so it's hard. I just feel like it's hard to teach this game, which is why I don't play it that much. But once you understand it, and if I were somebody who knew how to play it, I would totally play it because pick up and deliver, tile laying, 2 players. It's pretty deep for a 2-player game.
Yes.
And it's fantastic. So 173 Akrotiri. It was out of print for a while, but we actually got the reprint version. So we actually have the newer version of this game. But
wow, that's surprising.
It looks exactly the same, just reprinted.
It is a good game, especially if you're looking for like a deeper 2-player experience. And I don't see people talk about it a lot. Like, Mike, I'm surprised that you have it. Because I don't know a lot of people that discuss this game. But
it's older than a year old. I already went over that.
Here we go. Put the soapbox away, okay? That's not what this is for. My number 172, talk about old games. But we actually did just play this with some of my family members because it's cute.
Oh, yeah.
It's easy to play, but it's still really fun. And that's Takenoko. Takenoko, you are working with a panda, a gardener, and some bamboo. So you've got cards that are wanting you to play out different colors of these different tile colors in different arrangements. You can irrigate them. You're moving a panda. You've got cards that want you to, as the panda, eat certain colors of bamboo. They want you to grow certain types of bamboo. We have chibis. It's so cute.
Yeah, last time we played, we just used the girl panda instead of the boy panda because we wanted to. We didn't play with chibis, we just used the girl panda.
Yeah, because there is the expansion where you can have panda babies. Oh, jeez. Also cute. I cannot be trusted with these mics. But it is one, and I think you talked about it last video, because I was talking about how it's one that I have played more and I teach more. Because, again, Jason wanders off and is like, hey, we're playing this Euro game that's kind of medium to heavy, and I'm taking you 3 dudes. And then I'm like, okay, well, I have to make sure that everyone else is having a good time playing a game. Why don't you pick a game that looks interesting to you from our game shelves? And inevitably, people are pulled towards Takenoko because it's cute. I mean, it's colorful. I'm looking at it right now. This adorable panda on the box. Like, well, what's this about? I'm like, oh, yeah, anybody can play that. You're rolling the weather die that kind of dictates your actions. It's super thematic. It's just great. It's simple, but yeah, there's enough things going on, and you're trying to do that contract fulfillment piece that I still enjoy playing it. So 172, Takenoko.
Yeah. We got killed by a 14-year-old. That's what happened last time.
Yeah.
It was embarrassing. But it was still good. Yeah, it's not a deep game by any stretch of the imagination. It's solidly family.
Oh, yeah.
But it's super fun. There's still a ton you can do on your turn. There's 5 actions you can take. So it's not boring by any means. It's super fast. Good game.
Yeah.
So my number 172 honestly would be higher if we've only played it with Chris that one time.
This is a game I confuse with a million other games, and I don't remember it ever.
I got it for Christmas, and it's been sitting back here, and I just haven't busted it out. And it's called Res Arcana from Sandcastle Games, I think.
Get it out. I want to look at it.
It's behind my chair.
Oh, I'll get it.
Tom Layman. Our Sunday school teacher. All right, and this is... It's an engine building game, but the interesting thing here is, again, we haven't played it for a long time, is you only get a certain number of cards in your hand ever for the whole entire game. So you're trying to figure out how you want to use, I think it's 7 or 9 cards. You're trying to figure out how you want to use these cards, when you want to play them, when you want to activate them to make your engine the most efficient engine as possible. So, I may have to end up burning one of my cards because I played it out of the wrong order. So I may have to try to get it back into my deck to cycle through it so I can get it back out later when I have something to go with it. Then you're trying to use these resources that you produce from these cards to buy these buildings that give you points. Everyone's going to draft a different player ability each round based on when they pass. Dragons. All that kind of thing. It's a fantastic game. I remember I really dug it, which is why I got it for Christmas. But I just haven't played it again. I want to, I just haven't. I need to relearn it, and I just haven't done it. So if you're into engine builders with 8, 9 cards, check this one out because it's solid. And it has some amazing production inside of it too. All the resources are in this resource container. It's awesome. Look at that. That's sweet.
Yeah, I kind of forgotten about this, but I do remember really liking it, which is also why I bought it for you for Christmas. But we haven't played it in a long time. It was upside down, so then I had to flip it all around. It's crazy.
I like to do that to bother Chris.
Yeah, you gotta watch this anyway. That's fine. Yeah, that's a good one. I get it mixed up because we haven't played it for a while, so I keep forgetting. There's a lot of games with the word Arcana or something.
Well,
it.
I mean, it's such a generic title.
It's
not memorable at all. Even the box art is not super memorable, but the game is good.
So my last one, my number 171 for tonight, is a super simple game. Super simple. And it probably should be lower, but it's a deck builder. and I love deck builders, and I love a fun theme. So my 171 is Summer Camp. So Summer Camp is, who is that by? It's got the trees.
Yeah, that's Buffalo.
Oh, Buffalo.
It's also Phil Walker Harding.
It's also Phil Walker Harding, who I may be becoming a fangirl of, because
he's amazing.
Everything that he makes, it's so accessible. It's really, but it's also fun. So it's really, his games are ideal for us because we teach a lot of non-gamers games. Like, they rely on us to introduce them to games that are easy for them to learn and fun to play and that they can find.
Gallerist.
Did I say please interject something stupid there? I didn't.
You're right. I was just saying, man.
You've got an audience, so you think you can show off for your friends. Okay, so Summer Camp is a deck builder about summer camp. We actually started playing this with our youngest daughter because she wanted to play this My Little Pony Tales of Equestria, like, deck building game.
It's a deeper game than Summer
Camp. But
it
is much deeper than Summer Camp. So I'm like, oh, she doesn't even understand the concept of deck builder. If someone doesn't understand deck builders, I would start with Summer Camp. You can get it at Target. We got it.
It was $20.
$20. Wicked cheap. But you are building a deck from cards from different things that you would do at summer camp. So there could be arts and crafts. There can be friendship, where you make friends or send love notes or get them little bracelets. You can have cooking, where you like do things over the campfire. You can have water sports. You can have hiking, I think, or outdoor sports of some kind.
Yeah, there's like 5 or 6 different
games.
ones. I can't remember. Yeah.
And then you play with only 4 of them, I think. 3? 3 each time you play. So you can mix them up, which I think is fun to see different kinds of cards. They all basically do the same thing.
Yeah. They're similar cards with different art.
but the theme is fun. For me, obviously, I love themes. So, like, if I have a love note, like a secret admirer note, like, I get a benefit from it, and then I put it in someone else's deck, which I think is really cute and really fun. And so you've got these little campers that you're moving across. What? You like it better than me?
Yeah, I like this game.
Wow. You're moving across these, like, little trails to try and race to the end. I just love that. The theme is so fun. Again, I love deck builders. And this is a really good basic intro to deck building. A lot of people are like, oh, yeah, you should do, like, what's the one? Ascension? Ascension, or what?
Why would you play Ascension when Summer Camp looks a billion times better?
It does. It looks a lot better. It's, I think, a really fun theme. It works well for, like, youngish kids, too, as an introduction. And, like, yes, I could min-max this all day. So there's some people I don't want to play this with. Brandon. Otherwise, it's just a really fun game just to work on, like, almost in some ways. Jason doesn't do this, but you could tell a story like, oh, you know, I got this letter from home and I'm going to move here and I made some new friends and I'm going to move here.
Oh, I totally play like that.
Well, we played with this guy at church camp, and he was, like, really into theme. He's like, I'm not making any friends. You know, any friendship cards. And it was just so.
Yeah, it was funny.
It was really fun. It's just a really fun game. It makes for a good, like, gaming experience, and I always like that. This is one that you could take to, like, a family gathering around the holidays, and you could teach someone to understand deck building in a very accessible way, and it's cute and it's cheap. So yeah, my 171 is Summer Camp.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna do. Tim did a video, 10 games to play at your families on holidays.
I feel like we talked about that before on the podcast.
Yeah, probably. But
we've just done so many podcasts at this point.
I just need to. I think I'm gonna do one of those too. Tim kind of leaned toward the party games. I'm gonna lean toward, like, the family weight non-party games. And Summer Camp would definitely be on there.
Yeah, it's a good one.
My number 171, and the last one that I'm going to talk about, is a game that I would play more, but for 2 things. It's a co-op, and I don't play a ton of co-ops. And the theme is not something that I want to play all the time.
It's depressing.
It's depressing, and
it's intense.
And it feels It feels terrible. Like it feels like you're there. And the game is called Freedom: The Underground Railroad. And this game is what it says. You are trying to get slaves from the south up through the Underground Railroad up into Canada. And you're trying to avoid slave catchers. Now all this is like abstracted out. The slaves are natural color wooden cubes, and the slave catchers are like different shaped like wooden discs things. But when you lose one, it's terrible because they're basically being killed. And you're trying to get more of the slaves up into Canada before the slave catchers catch them, if you want to.
And more of them are coming off the boats from
and
Africa.
They're being delivered, so you have a new surplus of people coming in. You're trying to get free while the slave catchers are there trying to catch them. It's brutal. It's a great game. It is a good game, and they're not like glorifying any of this. It's a historical theme.
It's very educational.
Yeah, it's from Academy Games. They do a lot of this stuff.
Yeah.
So it's very educational. You could play this in a school, like a history class, if you want to kind of teach what was going on. Because the cards have historical events, they have historical character,
your
like
character,
people. Yeah, your character. You can be like Harriet Tubman and stuff. It's a fantastic game. It's just hard to bring it out and hard to get people excited to want to play a game with that theme. So I play it a lot solo because then I can get to play it. I don't have to try to get people to want to play a game about the Underground Railroad. But if you have a group that's into that, you like historical games, you like co-op games, this is a fantastic one. It's going to be heart-wrenching.
It's also pricey.
Yeah, it's expensive. I got it in a trade. But it's great. It's a great co-op. It's brutal. It's hard. But it's fun, too. It's fun to try to puzzle out how to get the cubes up from the south up into Canada, how to like maybe send some over this way to distract a slave catcher so you can get some up for free. You have to sacrifice some to get some up into Canada, and that's where the decisions are brutal and tricky. But it's a fantastic game. So my number 171, Freedom: The Underground Railroad. Yeah,
we played a demo of this at Origins one year, and we kept wanting to get it. And every year we were like, "This is too expensive. This is too expensive."
Yeah, it's a $75 game or something like that. It's pretty pricey.
So, and I think it's just because of the research and stuff that went into it. Because, I mean, there's not a ton to it. It's like a board and some cards and some cubes. But you can tell there's a lot of work put into it. So yeah, getting it on trade was the only way that we could do it. And yes, it is such a good puzzle. Like, and even just about the different people that were conductors in the Underground Railroad, as far as who you are and what your player power is, that's really interesting. Like, it was captivating in just like a few rounds that we played at Origins from the beginning, let alone we actually owned it. So it is so good. But yes, it is, and it's hard. It is really hard.
Yeah, I always play it on easy, and I've never won this game.
No.
I'm probably just bad, which is probably true. But it's brutally hard.
It is hard.
So hard. And then, then I don't want to play it again because, I just had 14 slaves get killed. I want to do that again? It feels terrible.
No, my heart can't take it.
Yeah, so it's a fantastic game. You just got to have a good group that is willing to play a game that's a heavy theme like that.
Yes.
So that's my 171.
Okay. Well, let's give a recap of our numbers 180 to 171 for our list today. I keep using weird motions with my hands.
It's like Ricky Bobby.
Where do I put my hands?
I don't know what to do with my hands.
Anyway, so my number 180 is The Gambler. 179, My Little Scythe. 178, Scythe. 177, Seven Wonders Duel. 176, Bag of Chips. 175, Chiseled. 174, Secret Hitler. 173, Scout. 172, Takenoko. And 171, Summer Camp.
My number 180 is Royals. 179, Anno 1800. Anno, I don't know how you say it, who cares. 178, Praetor. 177, Illimat. 176, CO2. Letters and numbers, I can say those. 175, Silver and Gold. 174, Indulgence. 173, Akrotiri. 172, Res Arcana. And 171, Freedom: The Underground Railroad.
Okay. We started a little early tonight, then we said we're going to. And
only a few minutes. Yeah, I said 9-ish.
Yeah.
It was 9-ish. That's fine.
But I have a final exam to write, so I got to go.
All right.
We're trying to see if the video matches up with the words with our audio better, because sometimes our Wi-Fi doesn't work so great at around 9 o'clock. So
Not sometimes, every night.
every night it stops working at 9 o'clock.
So yeah, if it didn't, sorry. I'll put up podcast episodes. You can listen to the audio and at least not have to watch our mouths do this. All right. So I think we're done. I'm going to shut this down.
And then every time he goes to shut it down, he's like, Katie, don't swear. Thanks, Tim. Tim, we miss you. Let's hang out during the holiday season.
Yeah, go to your sister's during Christmas time.
Yeah, let us know when you're going to be there. We'll work it out.
Don't be lame. I'll bring Scout so you can stop being lame.
Oh, that's true.
All right. We're shutting down.
Have a great night. Thanks, Mark.